So I hope you guys enjoyed my Samsung Galaxy S8 first look concept. Me and the Bro King actually worked all night to get this up for you today. This is based off of the leaks that have just happened in the last 48 hours, the case and render leaks. So based off of those, we recompiled it and came up with this design. In a nutshell, it's got a bigger display, no home button. It looks so much cleaner as a result, stereo speakers, and there's a lot more, which I'll be discussing later in this video. So hope you guys liked it. We worked very hard at it. I would appreciate if you guys followed me and the Bro King for updates on any concepts we might be working on in the future. Really great stuff. But man, this thing is going to be so dang sexy, and all of these rumors I've been hearing, it's going to turn out to be quite the impressive device. Comparing against the iPhone 7, even the iPhone 8, it might kick its ass in some ways. So I'm very excited to share all these latest leaks and rumors with you. Let's get into it. So what are all these leaks we've been hearing about? Believe it or not, Samsung may have actually leaked the Samsung Galaxy S8 on its own. They're just in your face about it. They don't even try to disguise it. So they actually released a couple of ads in another country that showcase their next generation AMOLED display. And in this video, believe it or not, there is a device that resembles very, very closely all of the other leaks we've seen about the Samsung Galaxy S8. So a massive screen dominates the entire front of the phone. It doesn't even look that usable, but it looks fantastic. I mean, it's beautiful. The reason so many people noticed was just because of how much it stood out. Now, I'm showing this to you guys. Is this the Samsung Galaxy S8? No. This is just a concept phone. A lot of people are claiming it's the S8, but obviously they wouldn't do that. They want some sort of surprise, some sort of a suspense. They're not just going to leak their design in their very own ad, but it's a very close resemblance to what the Samsung Galaxy S8 will look like. I mean, we made a very good representation of it, and there have been several other leaks that confirm that that's the design that is actually going to be happening. So Ghost Tech, I've actually tested some of their cases in earlier videos. This is a company that makes waterproof cases, just cases in general for iPhones, Android phones, and they did go ahead and release a case, the leaked renders of the phone inside of that case that shouldn't even be there online, and pretty good resolution too. So we can get a pretty good look at what the S8 will look like. Now I'm going to be showing you several, and you'll notice there are key similarities in between these that I'll mention. First off, the buttons. There's a power button on the other side of the screen. It's very interesting thinking about this layout. I was actually trying it out. So if the power button is now beneath the volume buttons, would it work? And actually, yeah, especially if you're right-handed, you just have an easy power button to press over here, and yeah, it would take some getting used to. But I feel like it's because of the components inside. They had to rearrange it, make room because of the new display, so they had to stick it on the other side. But the power button is now on the other side of the phone. The display is extended. There's less bezel on top and on bottom, just like rumored. And there's no home button. So indeed, there will not be a home button, as all of these leaks are confirming it. It will be embedded inside of the display in the software, basically a little solution on the bottom, just like on most Google phones. Also, I don't know how much you guys would like this, the Samsung users, but the Samsung logo is now on the bottom where your home button used to be, as if to fill a gap there of some sort. So I personally hate logos on my phones. I hate carrier logos. I hate the manufacturer logos. The Apple one is very simple, but I wouldn't want it on the front of the phone, believe me. And there's a third-party case maker that also leaked another case for the Samsung Galaxy S8. This one didn't have a render inside of it, but it did actually have similarities with the other one. So the power button is indeed below the volume buttons. The flash unit is above the camera here for some reason. They relocated it. I don't know, maybe it's a cleaner look. It looks a little funky, not like your usual Samsung, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. And we actually did go into detail on that, so we made sure to reproduce it very well. It's now on top. Both cases seem to show that similarity. But on the bottom, there's a mess of what's going on. I mean, we can't see in the Ghost Tech one the ports, but on this case, we can see that there's a speaker port on one side and on the other side, which confirms there will be stereo speakers. So you'll be able to hold your phone like this and have the speakers shoot out over here and over here, but not the other way. So this way it wouldn't work. You'd be covering the speakers. So there are speaker holes. I don't know. A lot of people are saying that's a headphone jack right there, but I can't really tell if that is. It looks like a mic hole. I can't really say. And the port doesn't look big enough to hold USB-C. So I really don't know what's going on with this case. Maybe they got that part wrong, but my understanding was that they would still keep the headphone jack because of recent news. So Sam Mobile and the Android police are both saying with a high degree of confidence that Samsung will be keeping the headphone jack. So they are citing insider sources that are saying they decided to keep the headphone jack after all for one more generation to make the transition easier from an analog state to a digital smartphone revolution. It's honestly going to bring in all of those customers that hate Apple for doing that. It's still good for Samsung to do. Inevitably, they will remove the headphone jack. It was rumored they would do it before, but now latest rumors are saying that they will be keeping it. So we adjusted the renders accordingly to keep that. So those ads that I mentioned where the Galaxy S8 was leaked, that's a Samsung subsidiary that actually revealed the next generation AMOLED displays. And this is a very important thing because these are definitely going into the S8. Now, these new generation displays have three main differences. An improved aspect ratio, so it's slightly longer now to make way for the less bezel on the bottom and the top of the phone. By the way, in my first S8 rumors video, I said that the display would be covering the whole entire surface of the phone, and that's not true. It's not actually going to be doing that. It's going to shrink the bottom and the top a little bit, and the aspect ratio is going to be going from 16:9 to 18:9, so it will be getting a little bit longer, just like the new LG G6 phone that's rumored to have that display as well. So although the display won't support 4K resolution, it will support the new P3 color gamut matching that of the iPhone 7, so you'll be able to see a wide array of brighter, more vivid colors on the screen of the S8. And the ad does say that the efficiency of the display has been improved as well, so you'll be able to get a little bit more battery life out of your Galaxy S8. And in my last video, I talked about how Samsung is switching from a pentile diamond pixel structure to an RGB. Quick nutshell, it makes the display a little bit more vivid, bright, and clearer. So that's going to be great matched with this P3 color gamut. So it's once again been confirmed that 3D Touch will be coming to the display of the Galaxy S8. So a writer from the Android police has claimed that the physical buttons are going to be gone. There will no longer be any of those capacitive buttons for menu and back, as well as the home button. Instead, we will find those on the software, and you'll be able to 3D touch on them for extra function. Now, it's not known if this will be everywhere in the software, but we know based on this tweet that the bottom row of the buttons will be 3D touchable, which is pretty cool. It's about time the Galaxy gets that feature. And a very interesting rumor from a leaker on Weibo is saying the 3D touch display will also support the S Pen on the Samsung Galaxy S8. So where the Note 7 failed, the S8 will pick up on, and you'll be able to use that stylus with this display. It won't be sold with the phone. You'll have to buy it separately, but it'll still be pretty nice to be able to use on that massive display. I mean, we know the displays are getting bigger, 5.7 and 6.2 inches, so having a stylus to be able to manage it will be nice, but it makes me think, won't that take away from the Note 8's sales eventually? I don't know. They'll have to have some sort of software differences, I'm sure. But let me take a moment to clarify the lineup. I've been talking about these rumors, but the basic lineup that we're looking at right now is the Samsung Galaxy S8 and Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, one with 5.7 and one with a 6.2 inch display. Now, rumored earlier was that both would be curved displays. A more recent rumor is saying now that one of them might have a flat display, just like the S7 and S7 Edge. So it's possible that the smaller version of the S8 might be curved or flat, or even both. So we know the Samsung Galaxy S8 is shipping with the Snapdragon 835 processor. It's sitting on the new 10nm structure versus 14 of the Snapdragon 820, but now we have all of the details. We didn't know about it in my last video, but now we do. So it's 35% smaller versus the 820. That makes it 25% more efficient. And you're getting about a 20% increase in performance. So 8 cores versus 4 on the 820. It's going to fly through multitasking. Now, the GPU that it comes with is the Adreno 540. It's now 25% more powerful, but what's even better than that is that it delivers 60 times more colors using the same GPU. So that, with the new P3 color gamut on the display, is going to make for beautiful, beautiful gaming experience. And a couple very other interesting things about this processor is that this chip is actually going to allow for gigabit download speeds. Currently, on the Note 7, which was discontinued, the fastest speed ever was 600 megabits download speed per second over LTE. Now we can get up to a gigabit. I mean, no carrier is going to deliver that right now, but it's still good to have. Also, Quick Charge 4.0. When I read about this, it blew my mind. This stuff is so amazing. It can charge your phone from 0 to 50% in just 15 minutes. In 5 minutes of charge, you can get 5 hours of usage. Just 5 minutes. That's amazing. And if you wanted to see what the Snapdragon 835 could do, there was actually a leaked Geekbench that was a bit underwhelming. I'm not going to lie. So this is for the 835 at 1.95 gigahertz clock speed. Now, I'll tell you one thing, this is completely inconclusive. It doesn't mean anything for the final result of the Galaxy S8. Now, this could easily be faked, but considering it wasn't, this is a very, very low clock speed. The 835 is capable of up to 2.45 gigahertz clock speed. So it would, potentially be much, much higher single core score. Now, there hasn't been much news on the actual cameras of the Galaxy S8 other than the fact that it'll stay at 12 megapixel. The larger 6.2 inch model might have a dual lens camera. That's still on the table, whether it might happen or not. But the one thing that I was excited to hear about, the actual processor, the Snapdragon 835 has a new image signal processor. So what this will do is it'll basically manage a lot of the camera features like smooth zoom, faster autofocus, and the best thing yet that was detailed in the actual promo pictures was that it would actually have more accurate true-to-life colors. That has always been my number one complaint about the Galaxy's cameras. They're so lightning fast at focus. I mean, they're great stability, great audio on them, but the colors just always a little bit off. They're oversaturated. Hopefully, this new image signal processor will fix that. For me personally, one of the biggest flaws with the camera on the Galaxies. And the release date has leaked. So Sam Mobile is reporting that the actual get your Samsung Galaxy S8 date, street ship date, is April 18th. So that's when you're going to be able to get the phone. The actual announcement is rumored to happen late March or early April. They're actually not rushing this release. Considering what happened with the Note 7, they want to take their time, get this thing perfect, iron out any issues. And that's why we're going to be seeing just a little bit of a delayed release. Usually, last year they did it in March. Sometimes it happens in April, but yeah, basically an April release. So yeah, guys, there it is, the Samsung Galaxy S8. I do hope you enjoyed my concept. We worked very hard at that. Thanks so much for watching. I really think this will be a fantastic phone. The iPhone 8 I'm beyond excited for, as it's going to be a complete redesign, but this thing will be, a very worthy contender to that thing. It's a very good thing that these companies are competing in such a big way because it forces both to innovate, to think outside the box, to introduce new technologies. I cannot wait to see what happens. So stay tuned for any more news. Have a great day. Peace.